All right, I have that. It is 7 o'clock, and we will call this meeting to order. Stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. So just a reminder, if you wanted to speak during public speaking time, there's a legal pad up here on the podium for you to sign in on. And first item of business is approval of November meeting minutes and the December claim docket. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to review that.
I make a motion that we approve the November minutes and December claim dockets.
Okay, you got a first motion?
I'll second.
Got a second motion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is we are going to have a public hearing on an additional appropriation. And so we're going to close our normal business meeting and then open a public hearing. Anybody have public comments on our additional appropriation? We are transferring additional monies into storm water fees, stormwater fund, so we can pay for some more work that we've done on fixing some stormwater issues. All right. Have no public comments, so we will close our public hearing and move on to reopening our normal business meeting at this time. So, all right, so I'm going to skip a little bit in our agenda and move down to have him come up now, and so we can get that business taken care of, and then he can move on about his evening. He's encroached on our property.
Yes, apparently years ago, I don't know. I never even assumed that was one of the railroad parcels. I just always even assumed it was our ground.
Sure.
But
Happens.
yeah, so when the fence was put up years ago, it's encroached in a few places, like 2.5 feet over on what the town's property is, the railroad parcel. So we're in the midst of actually trying to sell the storage units. So that was one of the things that Chicago Title needed, was basically after they did a survey, they realized that it's encroached over, that basically you guys are aware of it, and it's not going to change anything as far as property line or anything, but it's just you're aware of it is over the 2.5 feet, and just like a area, I guess, where it's not on a straight road.
Yeah. So just to make sure everybody's aware where we're talking. So the north side of the storage unit on the kind of the west corner,
Yeah.
A stretch of about 100 feet.
Yeah.
And like you said, it encroaches over. I think on the drawing it shows at the beginning it's about 1.5 feet, goes over to almost 5 feet
Yes.
towards the end. But so the fence and a little bit of gravel is over on the town-owned parcel. And so what we did was we came up with an agreement between the town and then the seller, and then which it'll transfer to the person buying this property as well. But this is just an agreement that says we recognize there's an encroachment. We're going to allow it until at such time as we might need to change that in the future, but I don't anticipate that being an issue. But it also says that you can't build anything else, take advantage of the encroachment over there, which I don't anticipate that being an issue either. But it's just, did you have a chance to look
I have
through
not seen that.
the agreement and stuff? And you can, the agreement hopefully is something that you'll find easy to go through. If you need to take that and then have time to talk with your attorney or the title company or anything like that, you can. No pressure tonight. Obviously, I mean, you guys are probably more in a hurry than the town is
Yeah,
to get this done, but
I think it's gonna be fine. I think,
yeah, well, and the way that this agreement's typed up, you have to have a notary, so it wouldn't even be official tonight.
right.
Obviously, the board has to approve our part of it, but then we would have to have an officer or designatee of the town and you guys to meet with a notary,
Okay.
whether at the bank or I don't know, but tomorrow to have it signed in front of the notary and then get recorded at the title company. I don't know, Graham, you got involved in this some as well.
Requirement to be recorded as a condition of closing anyway, at least that was all the comments in the survey. Yeah, maybe that could be closing.
Yeah, that's as much as I understand. It's pretty much the email that the same paper my sister gave to you guys. So, or actually, I give it to you.
Sure.
So,
So anybody on the board have any questions on this agreement or?
Will it pass forward then to a buyer, the next buyer after this?
yes.
So it would just kind of bounce. We don't have to reassess it.
Right. Yeah, it'll be in the chain title.
Okay.
Right. Technically, it'll be attached to the title from now on, so it'll just be part of that.
Until I assume the fence falls down, and they just redo it, and then they'll put it where it goes.
This looks like a pretty sturdy fence. I don't see it falling
Most
down
of it
anytime.
is the back of it because that's what I put up. So
Oh.
that's why it's so crooked.
You can keep that copy.
Okay.
That way you can take that with you and that kind of thing. So,
Well,
anybody else have any?
I was gonna make a motion that we approve this encroachment agreement with Mr. Moraine.
Okay, I have a first motion on approving this agreement.
I'll second.
Got a second motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. The other thing that part of this, somebody's going to have to go to this notary to sign it as the town representative. Is everybody okay with that being the town manager, or do we want it to be a board member?
I have no problem with the town manager doing it.
Is Pete okay to do it? Okay, then
Okay.
I don't wanna say, yeah, Pete do it if he doesn't wanna do it, so, yeah.
You're his boss. You're his boss. You get to tell him to do this.
Make a motion authorized.
Make a motion that Pete's authorized to have it notarized.
Okay, got a first motion?
I'll second that motion.
Got a second motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Pete, you're our representative of the town for signing that agreement. So you guys just need to coordinate going to meet the notary together and you both sign in front of the notary.
Well, while we're on that, are you not a notary no more?
She is not.
Okay.
I know I asked that first. He said, oh, good, Judy's a. She's not. All right.
No, because you got to take a test now. We're too old for tests.
At a what statement?
Preparation.
Yeah.
Who prepared the document? You gotta have that on there before they'll record.
Oh,
Oh,
all right. Well, I mean, it was kind of Graham and I
okay.
together, right?
And that's fine.
Is that what-
Put his name on it.
Should it say prepared by
This instrument prepared.
you
by-
or?
We can attach that to the back, prepared by, and then there's no social security numbers, there's some statement to that fact.
Redaction.
I mean, do you mind being that person, or do you want? I mean, I know I typed up the majority of it, but
I can do
are
that.
you okay with
Yeah, that's fine.
taking that responsibility? All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, let's move on to old business meter at sewage treatment plant. So Pete's got some information on this process and where we're at on the meter at the wastewater treatment plant. As everybody remembers, we had a meltdown of the old meter. It spiked above its allowed amperage and so on and so forth. They repaired that, but there was an issue on the Duke Energy guy had suggested increasing our amperage. Banning Engineering got involved, and I'll let you take it from there.
You got a phone call today, didn't you?
I did, yes.
From Banning. I'm thinking this should have happened last month. they're supposed to get with either you or one of your representatives and the electrician, Lance Simon, and they're supposed to put it at full operation and then check the amperage. So far, the last time they checked it, we was using 250 amps. We've got a 300 amp service. So according to Josh from Banning Engineering, I talked to him today also, and he said it would be really expensive if we have to upgrade, because we may have to change all the pipes that's underground and pull the wires through, and the wires are going to have to be heavier than what's there now. And you know, we don't know really what size those pipes are until it's dug up. So they're supposed to meet.
Every time your hands hit that podium, there's a spike on the sound meter because of your microphones. Just saying. I turned it up because Leanne said she couldn't hear it before. And
Okay.
now it's
Okay. Put
Sorry.
my hands behind my back. So anyway, they're supposed to meet hopefully in the near future, and hopefully we can dodge the bullet and won't have to upgrade and not have to spend the money.
Yeah, the week of the 7th is what I just got with Josh.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he seems pretty confident, I think.
That will be all right.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
okay. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, was there then any kind of speculation on why we were pulling over 300 or?
Well,
nothing?
no, unless he had a faulty meter at the time. You know what I mean? That's a possibility. And the other question is, what caused it to start with? Doug and I was talking about that earlier before the meeting, and we could have had an electrical strike if it hit the weatherhead. There wouldn't be, it wouldn't show that we had an electrical strike, lightning strike.
Okay.
And we did have a storm about that time, if I remember right.
Any other questions for Pete? All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So new business. We just had a public hearing about the additional appropriation. So now we can talk about approving the additional appropriation and transferring these funds into the storm water fund.
I just have it right here. Here it is.
There it is.
I did the additional appropriation for $7,000 because I didn't know what Tony's bill was gonna be, and it was only $2,900. So I guess it would just have to be $7,000 if that's what I advertised. Okay, so we got a little bit extra now. So it's just money in that fund that's going to the appropriation to pay for the $2,900 that Tony did the work on. Where they did the work.
Katie's property.
Yes, Katie's property. Yeah. From Michigan.
All right. Any questions on that transfer? $7,000 from stormwater fund into the appropriated stormwater fund.
Well, it's the stormwater fund, and you're just putting money from the. Because we only had 52,000 appropriated, so you have to take more and put it into the appropriation from the stormwater fund.
Right.
Yeah, it's not coming from or to anything. Anyway.
I'll make a motion that we approve the additional appropriation of $7,000.
All right. I got a first motion.
I'll second.
Got a second motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. All opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Very good. All right. Next item on the agenda, parking bucket truck at Bob Shearer's.
Well, it was tabled last month, so that's why I put it back on again.
Did you bring some kind of a?
Yeah, I brought a draft of a storage agreement. There were some emails about that concept. John and I talked. Do you want to?
Yeah, I was the first one that suggested, because I'd went up and talked to Mr. Shear about parking our bucket truck in his barn up there, which he has plenty of room, and he said we could do it. And then I was told that, well, we probably need for him to sign some kind of documentation to do that. So I approached him again, and he says he had no problem with that. He says you can come get it anytime you want it. And then it was brought up about, well, would our insurance cover it if the barn burned or something like that? And I was told that yes, our barn, it burned, it was covered. So, and then someone suggested that if we had some kind of a form that we would pay him $1 a year, kind of like you got with the fire department. That's what you really need to do. So, so I was going to make the motion now that we had some idea of what's going on again, that we get that paperwork and get it to Bob and park the equipment inside. So I was gonna,
It's a barn.
yeah, concrete floors. So I was gonna make a motion that we go ahead with this effort to put the vehicle up there.
Any questions from board members?
Are we keeping the keys to the truck in the truck, or are we gonna keep it here?
We can keep them in the shop, that's where we're at now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You still have to drive up there and the equipment.
I could probably walk over.
Yeah.
Would we have a key to his barn or anything?
There's no, and also he had said that, we bought that new Coyote tractor, and we've got approximately 4 or 5 pieces of equipment that go with that. And he said if you had anything else you wanted to store up there, you could, because we're leaving the grapple hook, the aluminum bush or finish mower, the bucket, backhoe bucket, all that's sitting out back there too. If we wanted to put the equipment in there too, so that is kind of a bonus to go along with it.
The mower's not too bad, it's stainless steel, it
Yeah.
won't rust. But it couldn't hurt, you know what I mean? Once it's not used.
So John already made the motion, right? To do it?
Yes, yeah.
So I'll
All right.
second.
Got a first motion and a second motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Motion carries. All right, next item on the agenda, donation for Cascade Post Prom.
We got a letter from them. They just want some money. We have, I think $1,300 left in that fund. Yeah, $1,300 left.
What do we usually give them?
We usually give them 400, don't we?
I think that's what we did last year.
Yeah, because I missed the breakfast, the beginning year breakfast. I don't think I got anything from them for it or something. That's why we have so much money left.
Yeah, because it'll probably be for this, and then what'll be for the.
No, we started
Breakfast
out with
next-
13. We haven't done any.
No, I meant will. That'll
Well,
be.
this money will be gone December 31st, the 1,300.
Right, so we either use it or
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
and it's just set aside for them.
it's just
Well, it's
a
promotion.
anything promotional.
Okay.
I mean, if we wanted to go ahead and send them money for the year-end breakfast out of this, we could do that also, if we wanted to use the money from this year.
Designate, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we could send 4 and 4 or whatever, or
Let's do that.
Yeah.
so we don't lose it anyway.
all right, so I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we, donate to the Cascade Post Prom $400 and then 400 also for the breakfast.
Okay, I got a first motion.
Wait a minute, didn't you say you had 1,300?
We have 1,300, so that leaves 500.
Oh, okay, you're not gonna, cause you said we
Unless you
lose
can
it.
find something that you want that we can pay for at the end of the year.
No, cause then we'll lose it if we don't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we'll have more for next year.
We appropriated.
We have 1,200 appropriated for next year.
well, I guess my thought if we're gonna lose it, maybe we ought to up it a little bit.
650 and 650.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Start again.
okay.
I make a motion that we give 650 to the post-prom, 650 to the breakfast.
All right, I got a new first motion,
I second it.
and I got a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, a report on the 1782 notice. Oh man, I
I think
didn't
everything was approved.
bring a copy of mine. But yeah, so I forwarded that to everybody in an email. It was just kind of a finalizing of our approved budget and what our revenue is going to be and for next year. Anybody had any questions on that? Okay. Very good. Next item on the agenda, quotes for painting the fire department building. So Pete and I, between the two of us, we contacted 3 different painting contractors, and we only got a response out of one of them. So that's what's in your packet. Pete, take it away.
Did you get that one? In my personal opinion, I think it's pretty reasonable because he's going to prep it and everything else before he paints it. He's using Sherwin-Williams paint, and that's not cheap. Find it, John.
No, I don't know. You give it to me. Oh, here we go. What I did. Oh. There's that, yeah, I don't think I got that.
Could we also consider, I think the door might need a decal instead of painting, but could we put one of your patch decal on one of the doors or something? Or wouldn't that be, I think that'd be, yeah, one of the, like on Kentucky Street here, the middle one. I think that would be awesome if we, I mean, just my thought.
Yeah, because the door panel bends, so it would have to be split.
Right, like, I mean, Polly's Perfect Seasons, they did that with a wrap style sticker that they put on their garage door. They can still raise the garage door. It's, it's divided up, but when it's closed, it looks like just one solid picture. I mean, that doesn't have to be included with this, but that's just a thought that I had, that once we paint it, with this brand new outer coat, is also put a fun, I don't know, I think it makes it look professional.
Well, wrap, you could cut it at each section of the door.
Right.
And then there's one other item. What was it? The engine number, whatever needs changed on the outside of the building.
Station number.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a hold of Stello to see if they can make me one. That's who we dealt with in the past. Needs changed from 31 to 105. I've already measured the height of the letters.
Is that just a wooden plank up there that they painted, or is that an actual?
Sheet metal saw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It
only
looked,
like an 1/8 inch thick. It's nothing crazy.
All right. Sorry, I kind of took us off on a tangent. So what we're dealing with now is this exterior painting. Now I assume with the cold weather,
no,
they're not going to be able to paint it right away.
That's actually a spring job, and he's already got a hold of Sherwin-Williams. He's pretty tight with the owner there, and he said that he would let him know, anticipate if the price goes up on the paint. So that was one of the reasons it was hard to get somebody to bid. Just far in advance. But yeah, that'd be a
They would
spring
wait
job.
till the spring when it's warm.
Yeah, we're just doing this so we can
to
take it out
paint.
this year's money.
And we would just encumber this out of the fire department fund, which we have 22,500.
2,250.
22,175.
All right. So, any other questions on painting the fire department?
This the color you like, gray and red doors.
That's first we've heard of the color.
Well,
We've
gonna-
not
Oh.
officially decided a color. So far, I keep telling Pete I'm gonna get a color eventually. So far, we've looked at darker colors, and then we talked about doing this in early spring. That way, we're not painting the building, and then the winter beats it up
Yeah.
for the season. So, but a darker color. Part of the question we asked was changing the awning as well, because depending on the colors, it's probably going to need changed as well.
But if you stay with red with the doors, the
But if we
awning's
stay
red,
right
correct?
with the doors, then we should be able to get away with keeping the awning.
Well, they'll have to encumber it. They said they have to get a invoice to encumber it. Is there anything else that they need?
Yes, they have a couple of things they want to talk to us about when they come up. So we can, if we have other things that we want to pursue, we can
Okay.
include
We just
all
need
that.
an invoice by the end of the year.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll just hold on to this quote until they speak. then, right? Okay.
Well, no, we can do this regardless.
To accept the bid for $5,900.
Okay, I got a first motion.
I'll second.
Got a second motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries on the painting issue. All right. All right, Chief Remender, you're up next, looks like.
16.
I got an easy one tonight, guys. Stats for the month of November. Short of two guys didn't turn their stats in. 121 hours of service, 11 runs, 60 business checks, 18 traffic stops, broken down into 14 warnings and 4 citations. We had Christmas in Clayton last Saturday the 6th. That went really well. It's kind of just a neat event. So had everybody but 2 officers out for that. Year-end kind of stuff, cleaning up training, state mandated training, and we also I've been working on the policy manual, so I'll probably have some of the more litigious policies that we have. I'll make sure that Graham's approval on those things, so I'll send those out when they're done. And the last thing I got is we'll be doing our Christmas party at the PD on the 18th of December. Merry Christmas,
All
everyone.
right, Merry Christmas. Anybody got any questions for
I do.
Chief Remender? Okay.
Excuse me. You have, hang on. You have money left in, what was it they had, Judy, that they hadn't used?
Bulletproof vest.
Yes,
Yes, a taser.
taser,
Oh,
taser.
taser. How much is in taser too?
Because we looked at that and I said, well, they haven't spent their taser money.
Yeah. The problem with the taser is it's about
Oh, I have it-
$3,500
I have it
for a
highlighted.
taser.
It's $1,040.
1,040.
There's 1,040 in there.
So I don't know if you can get anything, invoice or something by the end
Okay.
of the year that I can encumber it over.
Okay. I'll work on that.
Okay,
Yes, because we could use one actually too.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Very good, thank you, sir. All right, I got Pete up again. What else you got? You don't have anything else? Okay, Merry Christmas to you too. All right,
You have gifts for us?
fire department representatives, you're up.
I think the fire department
All right, Chief Bolton.
Let's see, pull this up here. Some of this is going to be redundant from last month, so I'm not going to cover all of it. The personnel summary, nothing changed. Nobody left. We didn't bring anybody else on. We did conduct one interview, waiting the results of that. For the month of November, we did 94 calls for the month. So I don't have the departments we went to mutual aid wise, but we gave 36 mutual aid responses and received 27. So, but the trend's been consistent that we're giving more mutual aid than we're receiving. That's obviously something we've been aiming for. We had 18 training hours for the month, which brought us to a total of 273 for the year. And then obviously all the equipment's in service, so really nothing to report there. Did want to thank Pete for all the effort he's been putting into, because luckily he's been making all the phone calls. So, besides the paint, the first thing we wanted to talk about was working on the wells for the firehouse. So the first one is from 1976, and that feeds the firehouse. When I talked to Eli English about it, that one on inspection appeared pretty good. So he said, I wouldn't touch it. It's working fine. And if we ever need to get it worked on, he can get it worked on pretty quick. The well out back was from 1994. We discussed that one a lot more thorough. He actually broke that down, said it needed quite a bit of service. So his recommendation was we pull the pipe and physically inspect the pipe, the pump, the wire, all of it. But he said, since we're already going to pull all this out, it's probably more cost efficient just to replace it, since it is 21 years old, something around there. So on the low end, it was based off the footage. None of us know what the depth actually is. His guess is, he said, it's probably about 100 foot with comparable to everybody else in Clayton. So on the low end, it was $5,000. On the high end for him, it was going to be about $10,000. He said if it was going to cost a little more, he wasn't going to worry about it since it was the fire department. So it was kind of a good grace thing. But basically, we told him we'd follow up with your guys' recommendation on if we just want to go ahead and get it fixed and be done with it, or if we want to do a little more with it. But inspection-wise, he said he did about all he could, and his recommendation was we probably just replace it, since we're going to have to pull everything out to look anyway. So.
And probably you people that aren't familiar with it, it was put in by Dexter quite a few years ago. So if they needed to fill the trucks or the tanker, they would use that unit there. But roughly now we'll get a gallon a minute out of it.
Yep, he said right at a gallon.
You got a 30,000 gallon tanker. Okay.
4,000 gallon tanker. The only thing we're really looking to do with it, besides supplementing the firehouse, is maybe the grass rig, which is 250 gallons, so we're not really stressing it out per se.
Yeah, because it would take a while to fill a vehicle up.
Yeah.
Try to get back to them.
So your plan is to get that well that's not working. You're wanting to get it to the point that it will
Yes.
pump enough to fill the rigs and
Fill like a grass rig, something small, and then we can use it for cleaning around the firehouse and some other things. But not so much that we're filling 1,000-gallon truck or 4,000-gallon tanker, because we pull a lot on that pump, and he says unless we want to get a pretty good sized pump, he wouldn't recommend that. But he said for what we want to do with it, just replacing it with the same pump, which I think was 5 horsepower or something like that, he said that'd be more than fine. So.
And Jenny, how much money did we have left for the fire department for this year?
16,275.
So we would have enough money to go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the 10,000 would still, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That'd still leave us 6,275.
So I guess before we make a motion on that to kind of help this too, so the second thing we talked about was the asbestos inspection. So we have a company we use when we do live fires. We have to get the burnt houses inspected and remediated if there is asbestos. The company we use is called Agus Environmental out of Greenwood. They give us a flat fire department rate of $600, so it's $600 for them to do the asbestos inspection, and that's for the entire building. We would like to ask for the funds for that. The one thing I do kind of want to bring up with that is if we do that asbestos inspection and we do find asbestos, obviously we are aware of it, so we would need to abate it at that point. So I guess what we would be asking is if we can move forward with the asbestos inspection, get that taken care of, and then if there's no issues with abatement or whatever the case may be, then go back to the well. That way we're not going over, especially at the very end of the year. So, but it's however you guys want to proceed with that. So,
Well, we've got enough money to do both, don't we?
Well, I don't know, like you say, if they do asbestos inspection, say $600, you've got to get rid of it.
correct.
So now there's going to be an added cost. That's just to
But
inspect.
that wouldn't be until next year's,
That would fall on next year's books.
Yeah.
on next year's
okay.
books.
Oh, okay.
Do you have an idea how much if they find asbestos?
That's the question I get asked with every burn house, and the problem is if it's a small amount, depending on if it's friable or not friable, you can abate it yourself, which just means remove it yourself. If
Or
it
paint over it, or there's
do something,
Yeah. What kills?
but if we find a substantial amount, it's got to be a company, and then it's hard saying what the cost would be. My guess is if there is any, it's very minimal.
Mhm.
But it would be nice to have the peace of mind to see if there actually is.
Mhm. I just think that if we knew, if you could get some kind of an invoice or something that we could encumber the money that we have left over, then it would go, because we appropriated 30,000 for next year, then it could all go into that one account.
Yeah, the downside is we wouldn't even begin to guess a cost until we find out if we do or we don't.
Okay, we got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we could do the order of our motion could be that first address the inspection for asbestos. If we get a yes, then we start addressing that issue and encumber, get it as fast as we can, get a quote, and then encumber money and work on that at the beginning of next year using both funds. If we get a no on asbestos, then we have the motion of we'll address the well. Does that sound
That's fine with us. So.
like an appropriate plan of attack?
yeah.
You need a motion on all that.
Yeah.
What did you just say? Instead of that awkward silence.
You were thinking. I could tell. I could
I make a
see
motion
the.
that we handle the asbestos inspection situation, find out what it is, and then move forward from there. That's proper wording.
If we have a yes on the asbestos, then we encumber any money left
Right.
directed at that invoice,
Remediation of that.
including next year's budget, whatever it would take. And then, but if it's a no on asbestos, we address the problem with this well on the south side of the building that needs up to $10,000 worth of work to replace.
Yes.
All right, that's our first motion.
I'll second.
All right, got a second motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion carries. All right, what else do you have for us?
Well, that's the worst of it.
Okay.
So with the PR, obviously there was a couple events. We didn't have the dates, but obviously we think the town event was pretty good. I definitely wasn't expecting that big of a crowd. Talking to a couple of you about the cadet stuff, I think the best way to do this is Jennifer Weekly's kind of taking charge on that. So getting her at the next meeting to kind of go over that. Because I don't know much about it. They just started the program, so they've got 16 students. I know that. But we can get her in. That way she can answer the questions. Because so far, as everything I've seen has been pretty good on the program. So there's a lot of engagement there. But other than that, inspections for the month, three new ones, and then 5 re-inspections. So that puts us up to 30 inspections for the year, and then 16 re-inspections. And then numbers on the back are for last month. So we had 11 BLS runs, so basic life support, and then 15 ALS runs, and then 3 of the ALS2. I know we talked about that a little bit last month, but if you needed a further explanation, I've got the perfect guy here for that. But approximately 70% of the patient counters we make on EMS calls we are transporting, with the majority being the Hendricks, and then the majority after that's IUS, and then there's a couple to Eskenazi, St. Vincent, Mooresville, and Plainfield. 367 total transported miles for last month, and then our reimbursement rate was 28%, which was pretty much the average for the year. And then that's about all I got for the day. So let's see if I can
St. Francis.
Sorry.
No worries. Very good. Anybody got any questions for Chief Bolton? Excellent. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Time, and Merry Christmas coming up.
Merry Christmas.
Pete, I'll get with you on the rest of it.
All right. Mr. Ashbury for wastewater treatment plant.
I have to say the building looks fantastic. What you guys have done here with the Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Clark Griswold helped out.
It looks, was it?
No.
No? Looks really good. So yeah, we for the wastewater report, the most recent month that we've submitted the IDEM documentation is October, and treatment plant remains in full compliance. We did 108,000 gallons a day on average flow. The capacity of the plant is 300,000. So maximum daily flow 130,000 gallons. Obviously, we had a pretty dry fall, so all the removal percentages for the pollutants that we removed from the waste stream were above 95%. We did have there was a fire department inspection on August 8th. We got the inspection report on the November 21st, and noted that we needed some safety placards regarding the chlorine gas at the front gate and on the door to the building. We've already ordered those. They're really inexpensive. So once those come in, we'll post those, and that will resolve the inspection finding there. You already heard about the electrical service upgraded there with Banning Engineering, and we're going to be doing that I think the second week of January, working with them to basically turn on all the equipment and see what the amp draw is. Like I said, Josh seemed to be fairly optimistic that won't need to do any major upgrades, but so we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. That's really about it. Yeah. So continues to run well. It's a good plant. And as you guys know, the work was done to the equalization surge tank, from JAMAR.
On the south tank, yeah.
Yeah, the south tank. Yeah.
Did you operate that full? Did you test it out? Run it at a full operation?
I haven't talked to those guys yet about that.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
get a report back on that.
Yeah, I'd love to just see you guys take it for a test drive and make sure everything's working.
Keep the windows up.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job on everything. It's pretty good. We have another project that might contact those guys about another plant. But, so yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right. I think we have one person that signed up. State your name and address for the record, please.
Mitch Bicknell, and I am at 87 West Kentucky, and then I'm also at 4883 Iowa Street as a business owner. So good evening, members of the council and chief. As the owner of a local business in downtown Clayton, I want to first acknowledge the joy and community spirit that Christmas in Clayton brings to our town. Events like these are important for fostering connection and celebration. However, I also must raise some concerns that directly impacted my business and my customers during this year's festivities. The first one is communication on road closures. There was no direct communication to local businesses regarding street closures. The road was closed an hour earlier than the time that was posted on the Facebook page, leaving my staff and guests unprepared. And I would respectfully ask that the town require organizers to notify businesses in advance of closures or changes that might affect access to businesses or to parking, so that we could make appropriate responses for our community and our customers coming in. We had a large impact, or had an impact on one of our large parties. On the day of the event, we were still open. We stayed open until 4 o'clock. And we hosted a shower for 18 guests. The guests traveled from all across the state to come to Clayton. But because vendors had begun setting up at 2 o'clock, a whole hour earlier than was posted, these guests were left scrambling for parking and for access. Had I been informed of this change, I could have then relayed the information onto these guests to let them know, so that they could make appropriate actions as well. But instead, several were upset at the inconvenience, and it affected the mood of the shower. It was meant to be a joyful celebration, but there was some negative impressions on both the town and on my business. And then accessibility concerns. One of my customers who uses a wheelchair was in the tea room at the time when the police came in and asked customers to start moving their vehicles out so that vendors could set up. With the way that the town is set up, people using wheelchairs tend to go ahead and stop in the front of the building and like unload or load there. Well, this particular guest was not able to leave the tea room safely because of the fact that the vendors had set up on the street, but then it left the curb cuts on both ends of the street here and at the corner down there blocked by coolers and trucks and vendor tents. And so she had a time getting back to her vehicle from coming out of the tea room to get home from this, from town. So I want to urge the town to please ensure that organizers maintain clear, accessible pathways for all of our guests, including those who do happen to use wheelchairs as a means of mobility. And then the other one is to clean up after the events. Following the parade, there was trash left in the streets and it was not promptly picked up. And while this might not seem significant to organizers, customers notice these conditions and form opinions about our town and about our businesses in our town. So I'd ask the town to please require organizers to take responsibility for the cleanup of the event so that local businesses are not left to manage the fallout. So these issues may not have a lasting impact on the town or on the event organizers, but they do have a lasting impact on the local businesses who must deal with the consequences or decisions made without their consideration. So my request is simple, to just please establish clear requirements for communication, accessibility, and cleanup so that future events can continue to bring that joy to the community without creating unnecessary burdens to the businesses that supply or that serve our community year round. So I thank you for your consideration in these concerns.
Anybody got any questions?
Do we have any ordinances that would encompass the problems that she's saying? I mean, I know I missed a meeting, I think, in October or so, but as far as I know, nobody from Tri-Kappa has come here and discussed any of their plans or anything. So do we have anything?
They came one night, but I don't think there was a whole lot said about anything. I mean, about what
Right, the logistics of it.
Right.
Yeah, we definitely need to work on a better relationship and understanding of how the logistics of that should work. So, and if Tri-Kappa, they use this event to raise money, which is appropriate. But they raise money to donate to different things for charities, and they give scholarships out, that kind of stuff. So if they're not going to go after the fact and clean, do they pay our town personnel to do cleaning afterwards? I mean, the bank parking lot still is covered in candy. There's just candy wrappers all over the bank parking lot. So that, just kind of one of those things. So I think we just need to maybe, us as the town council sit down with Tri-Kappa organizers and hammer out some understandings, communicate with, we want this event to continue being a fun,
right, but what I'm
community
saying
building
is,
event.
do
But
we have any ordinances or
Yeah,
anything? Because, I mean, who's to say? I mean, Tri-Kappa is wanting to do it at Christmas. Maybe somebody wants to do something for Valentine's Day, or D&D has their thing. I mean, do we have anything that says, as a town, these are our rules, or this is what we expect, or...
I mean, the nearest thing we have is like park rental. So when people rent the park, they give a deposit. If they clean up after themselves, they get their deposit back.
Right.
So it could be something similar to that. We could just expand it to, it's not just the park, but
Right.
it's any event that occurs in Clayton.
Correct.
That the organizer is going to agree to these things.
Yeah, and we expect you to
so
come
yeah.
in and tell us what's going on. And
Sure. So yeah, we could just take what we already use for that park agreement and expand it into more formal town events kind of a thing, and say, what you're saying. Organizers are going to agree to these stipulations. They're going to.
And we expect some kind of written confirmation of what you're doing. You know what.
And what you will
And
do
what we
afterwards,
expect of
yes.
them, that we don't want them to cover the sidewalks or whatever.
Well, especially the curb cuts are vital if you need to have your wheelchair to get up and down
Right.
To your car.
Right.
Now, is that anything you could do? I know your state ordinance and stuff, but what about a permit, not necessarily a charge?
The park, the kitchen and the big shelter, they're going to rent that. They sign an agreement, drop off a deposit, and then they
Don't you
have
think
this.
we should deposit something to rent our town?
Yeah, I mean, it just takes us, and working through these little glitches. I mean, I think obviously, us in Clayton is fairly new. We've only done, this is our third year, so we've.
And And I was
we've
shocked.
got some lessons to learn.
I was shocked to see so much candy left on the street. Normally, last year there wasn't any.
You had it all last year, right? You had it all picked up.
He picked it all up himself.
Yeah.
This year he wasn't reaching down to the ground for nothing.
A year older, putting it down. Is there a way you could set up vendors on a different, somewhere different other than 39? Like at the school or?
I think a lot of it is tied into the fact that businesses want the activity around.
Or like right down Michigan this way or something that's not right? I don't know what that problem is. Or did I see
Sign
something wrong?
online.
I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily need to decide and start having. Don't want to repeat that. I mean, the post office the last 2 years, this year and last year, have on the day contacted me or Judy and said, "Is there a parade today?" I mean, they were kind of like, and poor Mary Jane was a little freaked out. How am I going to get my truck in here? And so I went and talked to her, and I reached out to Chief Remender, and we kind of helped settle her down. And we're going to get your truck in here to you. We're going to get your, and they still have employees delivering mail on Saturday. So those are definitely things we've got to start looking at. Okay, how do we keep the excitement and the community building part of this, but fix some of the Swiss cheese model, right? You line up the holes in the Swiss, and so that's what we see happening. Is so we just have to start.
Did they
plugging those
contact you at all to coordinate stuff, or?
They did. I would have to get with them on, more specifics and anything. My comment would be is that if anybody ever has anything like the post office, somebody blocking a handicap, we will take care of that immediately. There's enough of my people here that we would open or do an escort a car, those businesses in. So, that's one thing that in.
You don't want to give your phone number just in.
Well, it's out there, believe me. It's out there.
Rather than come up with some kind of heavy-handed approach to them, whatever, discussions of it for 2026 with them in their meetings or whatever. And that way that person can be the liaison and look out for the things that the town's interest rather than what the event's interests are.
I think that's a great idea, Dave. I know one thing is we could not go to their meetings because we're all guys. My understanding is it's all female, I think.
Okay, well, I'm saying, from your
So they wouldn't allow us to go to the meeting.
But from your standpoint, your safety.
Yes, correct. We're road closure.
It has nothing to do
The
with.
logistics is not us.
Right.
We're just closing the road.
So,
I mean, even other things. They painted some white lines on the street for marking where their vendors were going to set up, and then another citizen in town came and complained. He said, "I don't understand why these new white lines are painted on the pavement." And I'm like, "All right, well, relax. They're not permanent, but they are kind of. I mean, they're painted. So maybe next year we suggest let's use chalk instead, or tape, or because chalk would be gone by now. But the white lines that they painted are still there. So chalk would be preferable. And make it not look like formal parking designations and stuff. So, I mean, there's just little things like that. So I think it definitely would be something where we, we're excited about, Christmas in Clayton continuing. We've seen some, mistakes that Kappa's first year to take the lead.
Okay. Because I thought it was business owners that ran it.
It was initially.
It wasn't clear on what.
I don't.
Then something wasn't clear on what.
I don't.
Then something. Is that?
Businesses have some consideration. Businesses have some consideration.
Input into it.
Some input as to what's going to happen, because buildings, perhaps even preventing customers from coming in. And when you have several people coming into your business saying you've got to have all your customers move their cars right now, that is also a distractor of, well, now people don't want to stay in my business because they're being asked to leave. And so it would be nice to have some sort of voice in how these events work so that it's beneficial for everybody in the community.
Yeah, I thought my understanding is when it started was the business owners, so I was somewhat shocked that Tri-Capital was, hopefully they might actually.
He only tased like 2 or 3 people. So.
Yeah.
Just kidding. He didn't take.
And very professional.
Yeah, and I mean,
No, it's not.
hashing out, what happened in the past isn't going to help as much as let's look at what we can do moving forward in, how do we, regardless of who's running it. I mean, if, Timbuktu came in and started running the show, we just have to work with them.
We need to appoint a town planner. Someone be.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I'm throwing out
I was always taught that the first they tell you miss a meeting, you're going to think on it over the next month.
Mm-hmm.
Next month we'll have another meeting, and then we'll decide. Somebody will raise their hand and say, "Yeah, I want to do that." Right? Anybody have anything else for the good of the order? Jenny?
We need to make a date for the year-end meeting.
A date?
And since everybody's usually around at 4 o'clock, can't we just do it like at 4? Because we'll have it'll take like 15 minutes. So that we don't go home and have to turn around and come back again.
And don't do it in the dark. It's colder in the dark.
I think 4 o'clock. It's not dark yet.
All right, so the
I don't have a calendar.
31st is a Wednesday, but do we have to have it on the 31st, or can it be close to the 31st?
It can be Monday, Tuesday.
The 29th is a Monday?
Yep.
So Monday the 29th at 4 o'clock? Does that sound doable to everyone here?
Yep.
Because it'll just be the year-end bills, and there's usually not that many. And if someone can get me some invoices or something, we can do that.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and then the fire extinguisher been here.
I was.
I know you had surgery on your back. Pretty soon you're not going to be able to use that excuse anymore. One of us here.
I'll get done this one.
Okay, so you need to do it before December 23rd, probably. Okay.
No problem.
Okay, that's the other one. I have a transfer of funds, but I'm gonna wait until the end of the year to do it. And then Leanne, you want Christmas decorations? We have $5,125 left. Do we want to look at Christmas? Why, when they're on sale? We might do that. So if you've got time, sometime come down here before the end of the year, and we'll look and see what we can find, what you guys want.
Okay.
Because then we have 20.
Well, we have that $26,000 in court fees that we haven't spent.
Yep.
We have $26,000 in annexation fees that we haven't
Yes,
spent.
if there's something that
So-
we just can't live without, we
Right,
need to
we can.
transfer it so we can encumber it.
Right.
But next year we have 25,000 in there for Christmas decorations next year. So that'd be $30,000, which will buy 6 decorations. Because they're very expensive.
And those are, you're talking about the ones that hanging on the poles that we
Yes.
plug in.
Yes.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah. I like the ones in Danville,
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I have. That's all I have.
People have also asked about stringing lights across the street right here.
Yes.
So I don't know if that could fit in that. I know AMO, when they did it, they said Duke Energy helped them by actually putting them up for them.
Okay.
Right. So I don't know if that's an option to have Duke help us with. I know it would be different with State Road 39 because they have to be high enough to. But. All right. Is that all you got, Jenny?
It is.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for the good of the order?
No, I have something else.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
nope. All right.
Chad's not going to get the tree cut down, is he?
You know what? I talked to his wife 2 weeks ago. she said that they was gonna get on it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna encumber that money. I'll have an encumbrance resolution for the last meeting so that we can encumber that money and,
Which we got approved for the amount we were looking for. And
yeah.
we have to encumber our part of it.
Yeah,
Or
'cause we've
at least
got,
part of our part of it.
77,200 in match money, and we need 64, so that leaves 12,711.
All right.
Can you pay more match? You can't now, can you?
Well,
Because they've already told us how
the
much
the
we're
problem
gonna
is
do.
that the competitive bids, we could actually end up paying less, but we're allowed to encumber what is designated now. Even though I know, like, if you get an invoice, you can't encumber more than the invoice for the sake of, you know, the extra. But if you can encumber that amount, even if when the bids come in January, they're lower, our matches. Okay. Anything else, Jenny?
I do not have any.
Okay, Dave, John.
Yes, I do. I've got a request or pay for the town employees. I realize you can't pay a town employee, like right now we get paid twice a year, and you can't at the end of June and the end of December. That's a law. You can't change that. But from my understanding, you can do is you can make an ordinance or a resolution, quote me if I'm wrong on all this, which I probably am, us as an employee or whatever, if I make a motion, say, can I get my pay every 3 months instead of 6 months and 6 months? Could I get my check every 3 months? Because but it would be at the end of each of those 3 months.
Right.
Talking about changing the period.
We would just have to stipulate that in the salary ordinance that we write every year. So you write a salary ordinance and you say town council members are getting paid June 30th and December 31st.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you want to change that and have the council members get paid quarterly. So every 3 months instead of twice a year, you get paid 4 times a year.
Yes, that's
You just changed the salary ordinance. And so I know we've already passed one for 2026. There is the ability to amend ordinances if you want to go through that process. We just would have to do those steps for next year's and say council members now get paid quarterly instead of semi-annual.
Well, I have a reason for this. Well, no, it's not a funny reason. I take cancer medicine, and it's $2,000 every time I gotta get this once a month. Now that's an added expense before if we could get paid earlier, and that's why I wanted to do this, so to help offset the payment of the medicine I got. So I realize now you can't change nothing on this year, but you say make an amendment of that, which that's something I would like to make a motion we do. And yes.
Or every month.
No, every 3 months.
And to amend
We just have to
for
amend the
26
salary ordinance
so that it can go ahead and be in effect in 26.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so currently, we passed the salary ordinance for 2026, and it stipulates what we've been doing in the past, twice a year. But, yeah, so we would just work on an amendment to that ordinance, which we've done before. We've amended other ordinances, so it would just be a matter of...
Well, we could do that next. We don't have to do that tonight, and that we could do. We have to
be able to do it tonight.
No.
Right, but that's brought before the council, and then the council would then vote on it, approve it then.
Yeah, now like I say, that's my reasoning behind it. Otherwise, that's all I got.
All right, Dan, got anything for the daily order? All right, Graham, you have anything else for us? Or
If you want to authorize somebody to sign the storage rental agreement completed that were left blank, we can finalize it, and then if you want to have somebody authorized to sign it, that might be urgent.
all right, I mean, I recommend that our town manager be authorized to sign this agreement as well. Is everybody else? got any?
Yeah. I'm fine
Is that in
with
the budget? Gold fence?
I
I don't-
would say something. I was gonna get you some of that big black pen that people use.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go to Menards and take.
Motion that our town manager authorized. They got a first motion? Got a second motion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?